Hi everyone again. I was asked how a light meter works for film. So I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to use your light meter. This one's a digital one, the Spectra 4, which is at the time I would say the Rolls-Royce of light meters. Obviously there are more um, brands out there that do a lot more. You can use whatever you want, but the it's pretty much all the same in terms of what it's supposed to do. So in this case, um, you know, uh, this is for motion picture. So right now I have my ISO set to 400, and that is what your film speed is. Now, without getting too technical, obviously you can rate your film whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be the box speed. You can rate it 320, 200, whatever it is. And that's, a different level, I guess, the different stages of how you make decisions or artistic decisions. Here, I'm going to rate it at 400 so that we can, actually see what we're doing here. And now, right now, it's at the frames per second is at 24, which is standard sync speed for sound motion picture. There's arguments about that, but I won't get into that. So right now, it's reading at a 2.0 in the interior, which is pretty dark, but you're still getting exposure. So this is the average. The dome, it basically collects all the light and averages it into this setting. You can get more specific with it or more, fine-tune with it by actually adjusting, your dome to, let's say a side light came in here, and then you click on it and you see what the reading is. And sometimes you can also, read your backlight, which you probably should. Say if somebody is being backlit, you just want to know how much light is coming in from behind them so that you can make a decision that way. Now, one of the problems that sometimes comes up, not problems, but is that your subject will be backlit by heavy sunlight. In that case, you're going to take the reading and it's going to be really high. Let's go outside here. So, something like out in that sun, they're going to be kicked pretty hard. Now, in the shade, it's 5.6. But I'm pretty certain if you put this out in the sun, it'll kick up to maybe 11 and 16. Or even higher, probably like 16, 22. In your mind, you're thinking, oh, okay, well, that's the setting. Well, not necessarily. Because it's taking the average of the sun and the shade and giving you, that reading. So what sometimes people do is they shield the top of the dome from that kicker. So in that case, you want to put your arm out and shade it with the top of your hand, like so. That's a bad example, but and so that you get pretty much a more accurate reading from the shade. And that basically tells you what the face is reading or whatever your subject in the shade is reading. And then you can make that decision, knowing the latitude of your film. For instance, a 400 speed, you got a pretty high latitude on that film. So then you can dial it in, say, okay, well, I want their face to be maybe a stop under, 2 stops under, whatever it is, and their backlight to be 2 stops under. So it's in your mind that you can decide where you want that exposure to land. This is not empirical to what you want it to be. So, okay, I click on this. Well, it says 1.4. Okay. If you have a fast enough lens, you don't just set it to a 1.4. Otherwise, your window will blow out because the window is probably around 5, 6, 8, maybe 8, 11. You want to make that decision based on what, all your readings are. And inside, if you have like a 1.0, maybe you want to bring up the light interior in the interior so that it matches or comes close to the latitude of the exterior. So in this case, let's say the back is 5.56 and inside it's like, 1.4. Okay, hypothetically speaking, what I typically like is maybe to bring the interior up to maybe like 2.8, 4, maybe even a 4, so that it balances out with the exterior, so you can actually see what's outside and what's inside. Or you can let the outside blow out, whichever the case may be. So that, those are the decisions you make, not just, take a reading and just set the light meter there. So that's just a very, very basic way to use your light meter to get exposure on your film. Thank you.